Ooh, there you are, guys. Hello and welcome. Let's see if we can get some people to join, because when you just start streaming, then people get a notifier. So, all right, boom. Hi, guys. Nice to see you. Well, you see me, but I see you in the chat. Kurdistan, Israel, Netherlands. Welcome to Sweden. All right. Thanks, guys. Yeah, let's do some mingling in the beginning. Some Swedes there also. All right. So we're going to just have a little playground with DMD today. And I'm not sure if you're users already or if you're just browsing, doesn't matter. But the last video I did just recently about the devices and stuff like that, I offered to have sort of a live session where we could see how I use it and so on. All right. So I thought that I'd just show you my setup, sort of getting started with the device from start. It's not going to be so much hardware talk, just from the beginning, setting up the DMD when you first install it and so on. Yeah, it's nice to have active participants here. 46 people already, so that's nice. So what do you say? Should we dive in and have a look? So I've prepared a bit, so diving in. I'm sort of in this little Looney Tunes circle there. All right. Greetings from Ireland. Ireland. I actually had visitors from Ireland yesterday, so it's so easy to get sidetracked on this because you're typing so many cool things and so on. But I'll start just showing what DMD does for me and how I set it up. So this is not sort of official DMD2 Thork Racing thing. It's just me as usual. So first of all, this is I'm mirroring my tablet now. So what I see on my tablet is what you see on the screen. So to get DMD2, there's two ways. So either you get a device currently from Thork Racing, and when you buy something from there, you get it pre-installed, sort of lifetime stuff. But you can also download it on any Android device from Google Play Store. Hello, Yorkshire, Finland, Hyvä, India. All right. Yeah, I'll just keep on talking and then be sort of more social later, I guess. So on Android, there's an before you install Android on any Android, there's sort of a home app. So right now you can see DMD2 on the. I'm actually going to show you, point around here with my mouse here instead. So when I open DMD2 here, and it's quite clean. So now it's running as an app on the Android device. So, and that's why you also have a close button here. And if I click that, you close the application. So the first thing that I like to do is actually to go into the settings. Wonder if I can type here. Yeah. If I type home, and there's a default home app. And now I can choose to make DMD2 the default home app. So it's not sort of running on top of something else, but now every time I start the device, DMD2 is there. So that's pretty much the first thing that I do. So I'm in DMD2 now, ready to get going, and I'll dive a little bit deeper into each screen, but there are some things that I prepare first. So this is the dashboard, and the dashboard is just showing a few bits and pieces of different things that you want there. So it's highly configurable. So and this is pretty much the way it looks from the beginning. Let's see from my notes if I'm getting everything here. Yeah, so basically we have the dashboard, we have the map. We'll spend most time here in the map soon, but because when you first open up DMD for the first time, there's no map loaded, but because it takes some time to download, especially on my internet connection, I've loaded Sweden already, so we don't have to wait for that. And then we have the roadbook reader, where you can, if you go roadbook rallying, that perhaps that's not every one of you, but. And then we have next the sort of ODB screen. This is if you have, I always say the wrong thing, OBD, I have to learn that. So the OBD page where you can connect OBD reader in your sort of OBD port on the bike, and it can read data from coolant temperature and voltage and RPMs and all of that, and you can get that on your screen, but not only here, but also anywhere in DMD, like on the map and things like that. I don't use that so much actually, because it's a cool thing, but navigation, of course, is my priority for the DMD thing here. Next, we have the apps place here. So I've installed a few apps, and I show you which. And then we have a settings screen here, so we'll have a look at that. I'll just quickly read the comments here. Is the throttle options work on Turner 700? That's the OBD thing there, and I think it's working, but I haven't tried it that much. All right. So let's head back to DMD here. So the first thing, before really diving into the map and so on, because what I do is I use a lot of GPX files, and that's part of the thing that I want to show you today, also how I work with GPX files and so on. And a big part of that is transferring GPX files from your computers and your buddies' mobile phones and whatnot. And for that, I install Google Drive, and that is not installed from the beginning. So because that's what I use. You could use other cloud services like Dropbox, or pretty much any way to just get GPX files there, but I find Google Drive very convenient because it integrates with Android. So of course I can open up this Drive app now, but I don't have to do that. I will show you later, because it's part now, if you install Google Drive, it's part of the file system on the Android. But I can open it and show you. Yeah, so this is my personal Google Drive here. I have Nomad Sweden, and I have files, and here I have GPX files, and so on. Not so important right now, but and also not everyone is so keen on using Google accounts and stuff like that, and of course you don't have to, but yeah, I'm not that worried about such things. So yeah, just install Google Drive or whatever you want there. Besides that, I've also installed the TET app and the Windy app. That's basically sort of the core of what I use. But then I can also, of course, install a lot of other apps that I want to use. You can install other navigations apps and YouTube to watch Nomad Sweden videos and everything. Like so. And if you have many apps, you can just add them here. Click the plus sign, and I want the Drive there, I want the TET app there, and whatever, Google Maps, perhaps, things like that, just for easy access, because these will always be up there. All right, so let's head now to the dashboard. This is the second most popular screen for me. I usually 99% I'm on the map, and we'll dig into this. But when I'm not sort of carefully navigating, I like to be on this page because I can see my GPS speed nicely, and I can also have different other parts here. So I usually set this up because these boxes can have 3 different things here. I have the little glimpse of the map here. I have, these are the default things here. So you have the apps. So it's sort of a shortcut. You can access your apps from here. And a heading. It's quite nice sometimes. And you have the same thing on the other side. You have notifications. So if you install SMS apps or Messenger or WhatsApp or whatever, if you get new messages, they can then show here, and you can decide which apps that you want notifications from here. And it will also show sort of as a small notifier on the screen. But I usually don't let any apps or messages send messages to my screen, because I'm too curious. I start reading messages and stuff like that, even if it's just a notifier. But if you want that, that's available. And this progress is really nice, and I'll show you more, because that's when you have a GPX file that you navigate to. You can see a lot of nice data here that complements the map that you're writing. Good. I have here, and here I have some sort of spots here that I can use for other things. So let's click the cogwheel up here, and that means that we enter the settings page. So I can now configure what I want here. So in map view 2, for instance, if I don't want shortcuts to the apps, I can click here and choose something else, and you can really configure your own dashboard here, because yeah, there's a lot, so much to choose from. I can have the speed, the map view, trip statistics, shortcuts, media player. If you have Spotify or something else installed, you can control that. You have the OBD values from all the settings that you can get from there. The things that you get from the OBD, it differs between different bikes. So if you have a BMW, you may get some values, and if you have the T7 as I do, you may get some stuff. So there are sort of values for things like here fuel and things like that, but my T7 doesn't send that data over the OBD. So it depends on your bike what things you can get. GPX headings, notifications, system widget, big clock and things like that. And here we have a few things that I can sort of put there. The same things you can choose from all the different stuff on each of these locations. But since I don't use the RPM, the OBD that much, this is normally it will show the RPMs if you have the OBD thing connected, but I usually have the trip statistics there instead, because then I use this space every time. And map progress is great. Notifications, let's leave it there. And on the third option here, I like to have a system widget. And remember, I told you I used the weather app, Windy. So now I configured this, so go back. And now I can set which app I want to use here. So I'll use, click on this to choose a widget. I got a question if it's possible to see or have a gear indicator. I think John at Thork is working on that. In the previous version, there was not a direct gear indicator, but it was a calculated one. So it read based on the speed and the RPMs. It could figure out which gear you were in. So I think they have to do some more work there. But here's the widget that I want to use. So I choose that one. That's the Windy app widget. So I just add that. And now I can see the weather radar while I'm riding, at least as an option among the different screens that I have. So I really like to have that, and it's also live and animated. This is the paid version, or mainly it's the, because I got this question in the chat now. It's since I have the DMD tablet. If you buy the tablet, you get DMD with it, so you don't have to unlock anything. It's all there forever, including all updates. So, but if you download it on just another Android unit and you download DMD2 from Google Play, then you have to purchase some parts of it, like the map you have to unlock, the road book, and so on. But you will still have money left to do modifications to your bike, because it's not that much. I think it's I don't remember. I won't say any prices, but the prices are on the Drive Mode dashboard site. And yeah, all the new devices that you buy are using this new beta version. That's important. Thanks for that question. If you download DMD2 from, let's go there actually. If we go to Google Play and DMD2, you will find it here. You will download it. But as you can see, I'm on the beta. This is from a different device I'm using. That's why I have it. But if you buy it, you don't have to go to Google Play. But if you don't have the beta here, you can scroll down and there's a button that says join the beta. And once you click that, you have to wait a few minutes, and then you get to download the beta version, which means you will have this new DMD2. And also note that this is still work under progress. There's so many things done in the last few months that are available to us now. That's why I'm doing this, because it's quite mature and there's so many things that I can use it for. But I think there's just as many things still coming. So it's not complete in any way. That's why it's still a beta. Okay, another question. Does it work without a SIM card? Yes. Actually, I use this tablet that I'm sharing now. What you see on the screen is the actual tablet, just mirrored to the screen, and I don't have a SIM card on it. So, and what you need really to use DMD for the maps and everything is all offline when it comes to the maps and the files you have there. But if you don't have internet connection, of course you will not have online weather and notifiers coming from your messengers and things like that. And you can of course connect the device to your Wi-Fi at home and prepare it with all the GPX files, or connect to your a tethered internet on your mobile phone. You can share internet connection with that, just to make some adjustments and download new GPX files and then disconnect and continue your ride there. So I usually ride it without internet connection. Although a SIM card and have constant internet access is great, especially in Europe now, where you can use your national SIM card within the EU, and the prices are the same everywhere, and it sort of works everywhere. All right, do I have any other things that I do here? I don't think so. So let's spend some time in the map department. I'm just curious to see, yeah, we have some viewers here, 76 people joining this party, so that's good. Right, so this is basically what the map looks like when you first get it, except that there is no maps installed already. So it will prompt you to download a map, and because that takes time, I've already done that for Sweden. So let's click here on this map layer icon here. And as you can see, I have the Sweden map. And if I'm online, I will also be notified when there's an update to the map. It's based on OpenStreetMaps. So, and OpenStreetMaps are being updated once in a while, and you can opt to download the new version. But if I want to download any other maps, I do have access to all the maps for all the countries on the globe. I'm not sure about North Korea and some places, but for me, for instance, planning a trip to Tanzania, I can get that. I think it was bundled with something else. Yeah, Tanzania, including Rwanda and Burundi. So I just click that and start download. I won't do that because, yeah, it's 1.4 gigabytes and so on. But I did that with the Swedish map. You just click download on any map that you want, and it's part of DMD2. So you don't have to go purchase new regions or anything. So Sweden is loaded. Then I will jump around a little bit here, because one thing I do immediately, as you can see, there's one certain style of map here. I can zoom in, and I can also tilt it like this, and yeah, some cool 3D actions there, but this is the standard map. What I do is I go into map settings, and here on map type and style I go for off-road topo, because I use this mainly for not pure off-roading always, but when I go biking I prefer to ride gravel and things like that. And now in this mode you can see that we have these these dashed lines here, and those are the trails mainly. But still I'm not satisfied, because I want some more visibility here. So I go to Topo Advanced Options, and I can check for unpaved highlight, and also let's have a look at that first. So now unpaved highlight means that even if I zoom out, I see the trails. Oh, Siri, shut up. Let's see. I didn't lose connection, I hope, right? Are we good? Okay. Okay, you see me and everything loud and clear. That's good. Having technical difficulties is part of the job, I guess. So yeah, this is with a sort of extended visibility of the trails, and I like to use that. And going in there again on the map settings, I also like the high contrast mode, because now all the streets and roads get sort of a more contrasty thing here. So because yeah, I can see it on my screen sitting here in the office, but riding the bike and perhaps there's a lot of sunshine and stuff. So I like the high contrast mode here. So then we have some more stuff here. As you can see, I have some visibility here. Perhaps you see it, these small things here are petrol stations, and perhaps I want to see them a little bit bigger. Scale and visibility. Yeah, let's go through these. These are quite nice actually, because let's say we see this screen here now. If I go in and up the scale, you can see it's transparent now. You see the roads and everything. They get much bigger and fatter if I scale this up. So it's not the zoom level, but it's sort of the size of all the objects and roads on the map. And that's quite nice. Labels, you can see if I want to go really big on the city names. Sorry. Yeah, it was yeah, so the names of towns and everything. So you can configure this as much as you want. Icon highlight, and this determines what you should see on the map in zoomed out level sort of all the time. So perhaps not only fuel stations, because they are always visible. You can choose restaurants, for instance, and if you want something else, camping sites, for instance. So Now if I, let's see, maybe I made it a bit bigger than it should. Now you can see we have restaurants and things like that showing all the time, because there's a lot of different points of interest objects that you can choose from. I will make this a little bit smaller again. So, all right. Yeah, so let's go back home here and let's see if there's something else. Yeah, I also have this little globe here. So if you're connected to the internet, you can have a satellite image like this, and it uses internet. So like that. I also like to use the lock option here, because not only does it remove the menu down here, but it also disables touch. So if you're riding in rain or anything, it's nice to have that option, so that there's no touch on the screen, because the raindrops can make things happen if you're unlucky. At least on different devices are different sensitive to that. But there's one thing that you still can press, fortunately, and that's unlock. So you're back. These things here, the plus signs, you can choose to add data here from different sources, clicking that. GPS speed I like. I can add that. I like the altitude. I use GPS heading. But you can also choose, if you have the OBD connected, I usually have the coolant temperature also, because you can navigate and get access to different things here, fuel flow and whatnot. Right, but if I don't have the OBD, I usually have the trip distance, like so. And you can sort of hide it and bring it back, like that. Okie doke. So let's go for a ride. There's two ways really, and the most common one is to use a GPX file. That's what I usually do. I can show you first actually how I get the GPX files from the start. So because let me change screen here, and let's go to my web browser. Hello Stegra. I make as much sort of exposure for these guys as possible, because they make a cool system. So using Stegra, this is when I'm at home planning trips. I just pick a place where I want to go, and like that, and it makes a nice adventurous route for this. So let's not go into too much details on sort of using this sort of application, but I have a few routes here. If you remember the I think I have the ADV burger here. The Motoberfest. Let's take that route. That's a nice one. It's where I filmed that Motoberfest video. So I'm happy. This is what I want. I download the GPX, and you can get GPX files from left and right, your buddies and wherever. But the main thing here is that whenever I have a GPX file, I head over to my Google Drive, and I have my GPX folder, and I just drag it onto there. So it uploads the file. Dum 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 dum. I hope at least the internet connection is good enough for the stream. Yeah, so I have a few GPX files here now that I create, or things that I've recorded and things like that. So it's on Google Drive. Let's head back here. Let's go into DMD and click GPX. I have no GPX files loaded, so click load file. And this is what I meant with installing Google Drive on the device, because it sort of blends directly into the file system. And now if I just look here, I have the Motoberfest thing there. I actually going to show you a different one. I click on that one and bam, I have a GPX file loaded. So as you can see, there's a green line here, and this is something I usually want to change. I don't so many green things here on the map, but yeah, I can see it now. And if I click the GPX again, I can go into the tracks and I change it to something. Let's go red this time. So I have the red line, and let's go into GPX again, because as you notice now on the left side here, we have the track details, and it shows me how, let's see, how far I have to the different parts of my trip here. I'm not sure if it recognized. I haven't started it yet. I was expecting some other things here, but you can see that the first, I have a waypoint here on the map. Meet the boys, that's a waypoint that I made. And I can see writing, I have this distance now to that waypoint. Also, on the GPX settings here, I can go into settings and auto load POIs. So along my track, I want to see the gas stations, the restaurants, and perhaps accommodation on the track. And it hasn't detected that I'm here, so that's a bummer. It did that before, but now going back also to the home screen, I can now also from here watch my position on the map and the details here. I can see the distance to the next two POIs that I opted for, like fuel stations and restaurants and accommodation in this case. I don't have this fancy emulator to simulate that I'm actually traveling on this track, so yeah, but that's really handy. If it's, yeah, I got a question if DMD is capable of connecting to Windows OneDrive. I think so, but I'm not sure if it can do that natively. Like you would, for instance, if I want to open a file using an app, like Dropbox or OneDrive or something like that, I can do that also from wherever I get to open files. For instance, I can use the TET app, and I want to get the Sweden TET, for instance. So let's download that one. Loading GPX file, okay, open track. And now it loads. it's quite a large GPX file, the whole of Sweden. It's 2,000 kilometers and more, I guess. So, and I can set some other colors on this and so on if I want. So the TET Sweden tracks are blue, and you can see the different sections of it here. So I can choose to, for instance, hide the top sections and the first sections. I'm close to section 2, I guess. So yeah, so now I only have a few sections here, and I can set different colors to them also, and things like that. And I also have the, sorry, let's go to TET Sweden. I also have all the waypoints here, and that's also a lot. It's a big file. But I'm really impressed with the speed of the map anyway. So it's really fluent, like so. I do have a camping spot near me also, I guess, here. And yeah, so this is a track, and that's how I navigate. I always just follow the line on the map, just like a normal map. And if I deviate, there's no turn by turn or anything, because this is a GPX file, and because you have tracks and you have routes. And usually, if you want turn by turn, you need roads and trails. So the difference between the track and route is that a track is, you can record a track because it's just a series of coordinates, GPS coordinates in a row, and it just shows you exactly where all these points are on the map, and you can follow that track or not. But a route is a series of waypoints, and then the GPS unit sort of directs you from waypoint to waypoint. And if you deviate from that waypoint, it calculates a new, if you deviate from the suggested route to that waypoint, it recalculates and give you a new direction there. So routes are waypoints with multiple ways there, while a track is the exact GPX coordinates in a row. So let's say I'll hide this and I load a new one. I have the track. Yeah, so, and let's give that a black color. You can set the default colors for all new tracks and so on, but this little this is an illustration of a track actually, because if you have a waypoint there, there's no way turn-by-turn navigation would direct you here. But since this is a track, this is exactly what it looks like. And here you leave the road and you actually take a turn out in the in the fields and then go back and so on. So that is not how a route works. So if you want turn-by-turn directions, and that's a common problem actually, like if you have the Garmin environment where you have Basecamp and the navigator, and you want turn-by-turn, you can convert the track to a route, but that means it will convert it to the roads and the direction that you're going, and make the best effort of going approximately where your track was, but it will never be exactly the same. So yeah, so if you convert TET track to a route, it can be converted, but you need to understand that there's a potential risk that they will not use exactly the same. Osmand, as you commented, there are some workarounds for it, and make the best effort and perhaps say, I'm not sure how it works if it wants to take you around the exact locations in the field here, but yeah, a common problem, and that's what I want to tell you about, especially in the Garmin environment. If you load ACT or TETRAC and convert it to a route, it will be very close, but it will not be, there's a risk it's not exactly the same. So that's what I said. That's what I meant to say. Okie doke. So, but still you can have turn by turn in DMD, not on tracks at the moment, but if I want to navigate to some place, I want to navigate here, I can press and hold, and now I get the option here to search for POIs in the vicinity of where I clicked, or for instance I may want to look for a hotel near where I clicked, like that. Hospital, parking, you probably see it before I do. I thought I fixed my eyes, but yeah, anyhow, let's go for a camping place, and here you have different places to camp and so on. But instead, let's make a navigation, and I can choose from different styles. Roads fast takes the fastest roads, sort of curvy smaller roads, and off-road where it chooses actually the trails of different difficulty level. So, and then it makes the route, and you can start navigating like this, and there you have your turn by turn, and you can adjust the map to have the zoom level, and there's also auto zoom stuff and things like that, which I don't use that much. Like so, and let's finish that. So the navigation in the method that I just showed you is currently just in its first version. So if I click somewhere, I can have sort of one generated route there with turn by turn, but I cannot add multiple points and things like that, but that's all coming. So since it's a beta, it's in the middle of development, so things will happen. But I'm quite happy actually to use GPX files. That's the way I like to travel. And if I use turn by turn, that's when I'm approaching a bigger city, for instance, and I want to find a hotel or Starbucks or something like that. Whatever, I can use a POI for that and navigate there. But again, when I get to that point, I usually navigate GPX files or something like that. When I get to a city, I usually open Google Maps, and because then I can see what's open, I can see prices, I can see a lot more. So, and that's, I guess, the Android thing here, that it's open and you can use whatever maps you want there, and if you want to use Osmand or whatever other thing you want to navigate with, that's also an option. Did I experience any glitches and crashes? The thing I've had most experience with is the Carpe Itter, but it's I guess it's not depending really on the device that much. But yes, I had glitches, but only using the very early versions of this DMD2 beta version, because it is a beta, it's under development, and if you're a beta user, you're sort of also a tester. But it's stable enough to use for what I've been using. But if there's a new feature coming up, like what I just mentioned with the turn-by-turn and navigation and stuff like that, if it's very early in the development of that feature, it may have some glitches, but nothing that I couldn't recover from. But I would say it's quite rare now that it's getting a bit more mature in that way. Merhaba Türkiye. Nice to see some Turks. They are my new friends, actually. So let's see what else I had noted. Map downloads and settings and tracks and routes and things like that. I think that's actually quite what I had in mind here. And now, from now, I just go by what I come across here. I guess perhaps John from Thork is secretly watching. So, but just continue with any questions you might have, and so on. So yeah, basically I've set up the map the way I did, and I use other applications from various sources. I use Google Drive to get the files to the device, and that's also good because you can share the drive with your friends. So you have sort of a shared folder where everyone can put their stuff, and then we have it online. There's so many other settings and stuff like that, but yeah, I'm showing you what I use the most. If I'm riding a GPX, will the map move with me? Yes, absolutely. So I usually get into the zoom level that I want, and I use the hand controllers, and the things I toggle between is the top left icon here. The first press is north up. You will always have north up riding like this, and with a fixed map, and it doesn't move with you. That's this. And the second press is also north up, and but the map moves with you. And the third mode is nose up. So and the map twists and follows along. You can also tilt it like this to get, if you want to zoom in a bit further, you can let's see, get into, yeah, this quite zoomed in, but you see far ahead anyway. So absolutely. Yeah, there are no stupid questions. I'm quite excited to see the upcoming features that they have been talking about, which is location sharing. That means you will need to have a registered account for DMD, which is not what you have today. But when that part is live, you will also be able to see your buddies on the map, share GPX files, and send GPX files to each other, and things like that. If I ever tried hunting maps with that tracker or else. Right now, not sure what you mean with hunting maps, but if you're talking about different map layers, like having other map sources, that's perhaps in the plans. I think I heard the mentioning, damn, now, and this is a tip for you: don't sit on the tablet when you try to show it around. All right. What else? The throttle options. Yes, it worked with OBD because you have the OBD dongle here, and this is also not 100% finished, I think, but if I want on the map or wherever, because all the different values from OBD and things like that, I can set different values to show. So in this case, I want to show on the map different things that I have always access to, trip speed and time and things like that. But from the OBD, you can get the OBD speed from the bike's speed reading, which is actually not what you see in the display. When I tried that, I saw a much lower value. So it actually does some recalculation. It's not GPS speed either. It was lower than GPS speed. So I guess some tweaking would be needed there. RPMs, coolant, voltage, fuel, throttle is there. So that's sort of the throttle percentage from 0 to 100, how much throttle you have, things like that. But again, I don't think all bikes will give access to all the values, so it depends on the bike you have. Yeah. Hi, John. Right. Speed comes directly from the ECU, but some clusters might have some calibration on top of it. That's good. There's a heart button here. I'll press that. So let's see. Okay, that's good. All right. Let's see where my chat window went. I'll open the YouTube Studio instead, because for some reason when John arrived, I got nervous and closed the chat box. So no idea what's happening here. All right, there. Bear with me. I'm sort of not half finished, but sort of finished here soon. So let's go into live again. I'm just bringing up your chat here so I can see. There it is. Okay. Great. Yeah. So again, let's I think I'm quite done, because I showed you, and it's 1 hour now, and I think that's sufficient for a video like this. And I'm happy to answer any questions after the live stream in the comments. So if you have any more questions that you want to target Thork or me or anyone, you can just type in the comments afterwards and we'll be happy to answer them. So yeah, I hope you got some information and perhaps learned something, and I'm glad you joined us. So we had 79 watchers at the same time, so that's a success, isn't it? Good. Until next time, I'm prepping for the trip mentally now, so yeah, not sure what's going to happen before that, but I'll be mounting the new DMD device instead of the carpet to get some more experience on that and get back with a review or something like that. Thanks for watching. I really enjoy all the interaction here, so yeah, stay on the channel, and I deliver more stuff. So yeah, signing off. Cheers. Bye bye.